Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name.
Quiet introspection is often acquainted with feelings of remorse and mental recitation of could've and should've the life has presented over the years. In the latter part of the second chapter of Ecclesiastes, Solomon wades into this type of thinking as he ponders what his legacy might be. His perspective seems to be on that of a material realm as he writes, "When there is a man who has labored with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, then he gives his legacy to one who has not labored with it. This too is vanity and a great evil." That's found in the 21st verse of that second chapter. Why does it always seem that when we think about legacy, it centers around material possessions? See, legacy is defined as something transmitted or received from an ancestor or predecessor or from the past. A gift by will, money or personal property. In other words, that which has been handed down, a legacy. As the rest of Ecclesiastes unfolds, it becomes apparent that the greatest legacy that one can leave behind is a life that is in balance with the God of heaven. And this fact is echoed as well by Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, when he said in the 6th chapter of Matthew, verse 33, "But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you." Now just stop and think about it. The elemental things of this world have no lasting value. Money is soon spent. Real estate is sold. Stocks and bonds are liquidated. But a legacy of righteousness lives on through time, as is expressed in Hebrews, the 11th chapter and verse 4. And through faith, though he is dead, he still speaks. Now a little further on in that 11th chapter, Abraham was noted as being a man of faith, but he was also noted as a man of wealth. But of that wealth, how much stood the test of time? But now, millennia later, we're still talking about, mindful of, his tremendous faith. Now, all of us have known individuals who have left a lasting legacy, not so much of material wealth, but of righteousness, doing that which is right in the eyes of God. Individuals who have left a lasting impression on our life, that have been indelibly etched therein. Someone that will remain there for as long as we live. Paul, in his letter to the church in Philippi, was well aware that a life lived in harmony with the Word of God is a source of encouragement and stimulation to others. To that end, he said, "But I am hard pressed from both directions, having the desire to depart and be with Christ. Yet, that is very much better. Yet, to remain on in the flesh is more necessary for your sakes. I long," Paul said, "to depart and be with Christ. However, on the flip side, I long to be of service to you." The legacy of one's life is what Paul's talking about. Now, Socrates is quoted as having said, "Fellow citizens, why do you turn and scrape every stone to gather wealth and yet take so little care of your children, to whom one day you must relinquish it all?" Now, that's pretty sound advice if you ask me. But from the perspective of a child of God, the greatest legacy to leave our children and to all with whom we have come in contact in our lifetime would be to be in balance with the God of heaven. To have lived a life reflective of what a child of God, a faithful child of God, should live like. Paul in Colossians, the 3rd chapter, and in verse 1 beginning, he writes the following, and I think it's one of tremendous encouragement. Colossians 3, verse 1. Notice what he said. If then you've been raised up with Christ, keep seeking the things above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Set your mind on the things above, not on things that are on the earth. So that begs the question, what will be your legacy?
Jesus.